Good evening. Happy New Year's Eve. I believe you're hearing the music of Guy Lombardo, the most famous rendition of Old Lang Syne, at least back in the 1940s, probably 50s, even 30s. All the time on NBC, nationwide and then worldwide showing of the dropping of the ball. That's a pretty good look at what Times Square looks like right now. A couple hours before the ball drop. All of those roadways, there are really two main ones that feed down like a V on Times Square, Broadway and 7th Avenue. A couple of side roadways. There's Ted, who looks like Guy Lombardo. It looks like he's playing a piano there for us. And we're dressed because when we leave you, we are headed for what you see behind me, which is Mar-a-Lago. And we'll be going down to the ballroom. It doesn't look like that, but that is probably your Christmas scene, we hope. And we'll be celebrating New Year's with our good friends. And of course, with the President of the United States, who's had the most remarkable year of any president, I don't know, maybe in history. So we are going to quickly do a bunch of things tonight because we're going to do like 3 shows in one. We're going to do today, yesterday, and tomorrow. We're going to do today, meaning what's the top items right now. Then we're going to take a quick look back at the 10 top stories of 2025. And then we're going to give you what we believe are the 10 top stories of 2026. But we're going to do that real quick because we're going to save a lot of that for tomorrow and the next day and the next day. And that's the rest of our show for the rest of the year, right, frankly. But this isn't going to be the usual detailed analysis. It's going to be more quick, the way the other ones do it, who never explain anything to you. So we believe the top story right now, the top story in terms of news is Minneapolis. If you were to judge the newspapers of dominance, you would not even know it existed. It is by far the top story in America, could be the top story in the world, not because of the way it affects Minnesota, but because this is the way it is. What you see in Minnesota, I could replicate for you or Ted and I, or we could send Nick there or whatever. I'm not even going to push it here in 15 Democrat states. This is the way they do business. It's not what you are watching is not the exception. What you are watching is the rule since the Great Society, possibly since Roosevelt, in the handing out of social benefits. Remember, the idea of social benefits in this country was not to fix the Depression. And it didn't fix the Depression. It was to make us the communist country. Franklin Roosevelt, who was the most overrated president, was surrounded by very, very dedicated, Lenin-loving Marxists who several times switched when Lenin switched based on America. This is not fantasy. This was not just Joseph McCarthy, who unfortunately they framed up and he became a bit of a drinker and they got him and he exaggerated. But core, from Wilson on, the Democrat Party has been in the clutches of the Communist Party, and now it's in the clutches of Islamic extremism. And it's become what it used to be. It's funny how you go back to what you used to be. It began as the party representing the single biggest, most criminal and horrible act of this country, slavery, and it becomes now the party doing the same. So Daycare Center, Minneapolis, is the story of the day today. But first, let's get to New Year's. New Year's will be celebrated here in Florida, of course. There'll be a great celebration at Mar-a-Lago, which President Trump has had for numerous years before he was president. This is really a lot of added people, of course, from government, but it's also friends and family. I can remember this celebration back 20 years ago, almost since he started Mar-a-Lago. Certainly since he's had the ballroom. It does compete in Palm Beach with the snooty fireworks display, which will be at the Flagler Museum, to which I would occasionally go to both. I'd go to one and the other because the Flagler is later. You'll see some people leave, Ted, tonight, take their names down.
Yeah. Oh, we'll report that to the boss too,
because the boss never liked that, and now he really gets like, "Come on, you crazy? You don't want to be the president? You want to be with all those old?"
When
folks?
Are the fireworks? I'm asking for someone else.
The fireworks are.
Mr. President, I'm asking for someone else. This isn't for my own.
No, the fireworks are right near us, right near where we are now.
What time though? Midnight.
The fireworks are at midnight, and the fireworks are between us and St. Edward's Church on the water, on the Intercoastal. Kind of near where the chapel is. You know where that chapel is? And you know where the Flagler Museum is?
Is that where it is? The Flagler
Museum. It's at the Flagler Museum.
Okay.
And on the northern side of the island. Mar-a-Lago is really more based on the southern part of the island and does not have fireworks. Just has the biggest flag on the island.
Right. Yeah. Which you can see behind you.
So it'll be a great celebration. It always is. It is not at all pretentious. It is at all fun. And everybody gets to dance and make jokes and enjoy themselves. And the president mingles like he's Donald Trump because he's never stopped being Donald Trump, like many of them have. Then there'll be celebration in New York. Question is, were they going to go forward with it? They did. Others have canceled it. I believe in Europe, a number of ones have been canceled. I pointed out in the lead up to this day that in the year 2000, I faced the choice of whether to go forward with the millennial celebration with serious threats of a bin Laden attack, and decided to go forward with it after massive security preparations that took almost 2 weeks. I mean, well before Christmas. And we learned more about lower Manhattan, and by lower Manhattan, I mean below the ground, than we had ever known before. And thank God it came off. And let's pray for them tonight. I think Adams made the right decision. I think if Adams had decided to cancel it, you'd have seen a lot of others canceled. I don't think you're seeing too many canceled in America. We'll check and find out. But a rule that I established early in my dealings with the war on terrorism, going back to before 9/11, back in the 70s, when we were dealing with skyjackings with right. these Islamic maniacs who right. interpret the word of Muhammad with one of the legitimate interpretations of it, which is to kill massively, like he did, and to eliminate, if you have to, Christians and Jews, unless they convert or pay you lots of money. They're in the process of doing that. So how are we saying they're not carrying out their religion? What we have to say is their religion is evil,
right?
Not peaceful. You see how we've misled for so long on so many things. So we have a little something we want to show them, or shall we move on to the first substantive story?
So you mentioned the year 2000. So I think we have something from 2000 in New York City. And Mayor, you mentioned that you did have a serious threat that year?
Yeah, it was the year 2000.
Okay, I just want to make sure we got the right year. And what was what went through your head when you chose to move forward with it?
Well, what went ahead, what did was I examined the threat carefully. I was convinced that it was serious, but not one that we couldn't deal with. I work with the FBI and with my entire team, including the police department. You see that entire area there? We scoured everything below it down 20, 30 feet. Because the city of New York, like an old city, obviously not Jerusalem, not Rome, has cities below the city.
Right.
we could have a great deal of fun. I can show you cities below the cities. I could show you speakeasies below the cities.
Right.
That the mafia used to use. We found plenty of dead bodies down there. Not necessarily that area, but other areas. But all throughout the city has gone through several already, you know, in its 400 years, it's gone through several different iterations, you know, as a Dutch city, as an old English city, as a mercantile English city, as a beginning to be for a short while, the capital of America. Really, New York, second or third city for a while, and then it emerged in the 19th century and has stayed America's by far dominant city by a lot. There's no city even close. And that's, of course, the ball going down in the year 2000. And that marked the new millennium.
So this is 1999 to 2000.
That would be 1999. That marked 2000. That was a very cold night, but you can see the crowd was jubilant and gigantic. They had all been worried about their computers, they had all been worried about their computers stopping and Y2K and the world would end, and it was all kinds of crazy stuff. And then Bin Laden came in on that and did a threat. Now, I keep that in mind. Keep that picture in mind for a few hours later, and tell me if it doesn't look an awful lot like the same.
Yeah,
it doesn't change an awful lot. I mean, the only thing that makes the first one look different is it's in black and white.
Right.
So this will be going on all over the world. By that I mean all over the world. They'll be watching New York celebrate New Year's. I love that in Los Angeles.
That's a good line.
The first time I was in Los Angeles, I put on the New Year's Eve celebration at 9. I watched it. I clapped. All my friends and my wife, who was from Los Angeles, are having dinner. You know, they're all stuffy. And I'm clapping. I come out. What are you clapping for? I said, it's New Year's. No, it's not. No, it's not. I said, all right, okay, let's see what you do for New Year's. Oh, well, we have a big celebration. They go on the television, they're looking. Guy Lombardo. Now they come to New Year's. All three major stations. You know what New Year's was? It was a video of New York. I said, you see, you are just, you're not even a real city.
Right.
You just live on whatever we tell you to do.
Right.
Minnesota getting bigger and bigger and bigger. The double talk is getting ridiculous. The other day, Nick, and what's his partner's name? He doesn't give us the last name. David, right. Nick showed up at the Lehren Center, and the Lehren Center has now, after 4 years, learned how to spell the word learning.
Right.
And put in learning. And about midday, kids showed up. The kids didn't seem to know where to go. They didn't seem to know how to open the building. They didn't seem like they'd ever been in the building. And then Nick went about interviewing numerous people that said this is the first time they've seen kids here in 4 years.
Right.
They have taken down about $12 billion without having to send a kid there. And they were bold enough, brassy enough, arrogant enough to do this. And if you listen to these Somalis being interviewed, they are arrogant people. I'm sorry. I'm not talking about all Somalis. I don't know all Somalis. I know the Somalis I saw on television. They're a bunch of pricks. I mean, you guys stole like hell. And don't give me this crap. You know, well, I don't know. Did you ever see children here? I don't know. Well, you either saw children here or you didn't see children here. And if you didn't see children here, it obviously isn't a daycare center because you'd see a lot of children here. So you gave us the answer. Do you realize that? Shirk. You think you're a smart ass, but you're not because you come from a dumb country. And you come from a crooked country. And you come from a third world country. Now, God, we feel sorry for you. And yes, we want to help you, but we don't want you to destroy us. This would be like asking Genghis Khan to help us. Hey, Genghis, we want to help you. Come and help us. Make us into Neanderthals like you. We're supposed to progress in society, not degress, which is what they are. They are a pre-Western civilization, 20th century, 19th century civilization. And because we don't teach Western civilization or the value of it anymore, we can't say that. We're being Instead of being intelligent, helpful, useful, and trying to bring them to a somewhat higher standard, we're being condescending, racist, and xenophobe. All the doings of communism, all the doings of double talk, double speak, take the words, change their meaning. One day, 15,000 people came across the border, asked Biden and the Politburo, what do they say? Border closed. That's doublespeak. You just lie.
Right.
So this is getting bigger. More are showing up. This is happening in Maine. This is happening in Ohio. This is happening in Colorado. And believe me, this is not confined to the Somalis. If you want to find someone to blame bigger than the Somalis, much bigger than the Somalis, you got them, babes. You could call it Lyndon Johnson and yes, take him right down from Mount Rushmore. Franklin Delano Roosevelt, who gave us American dependency, which is a form of American communism, on purpose without knowing it, because while he was paralyzed from the waist down, there was apparently one part of him that wasn't paralyzed. That was being exercised quite a bit by Missy LeHand and Boopity Doop and Scoopity Doop. And his paying attention to what the hell was going on was greatly exaggerated by a communist left-wing press. He was enamored of Stalin. Stalin had him in his little. Stalin was working with twice the guy who failed the bar exam, President FDR, working with twice his IQ. Had him as a little boy. Churchill used to make fun of him and say, "You stop thinking of him as Uncle Stalin. He's a murderer."
Right.
Yes. He took us through the Second World War. No. He did not solve the Depression. Yes. He absolutely caused the Cold War. The Trump administration is now turning off the spigot to Minnesota, and it's stopping sending them money. That's a pretty good idea. Let them work on the money they have and see where they get. And maybe it'll bring out more and more of this, because I believe this goes way beyond the Somali community. This is inherent. It is in the core of the urban, poverty-laden Democrat states. And that's why they're poverty-laden, because the money's never been used for the poor. They also utilized during this period of time the Biden handout rules. The Biden handout rules were very, very similar to the Biden come into the country rules. No rules. I would like lots of stamps. Here are your stamps. Are you poor? God like more stamps. Oh yeah, okay. Particularly if you had a certain skin color, or you were illegal. Oh, you also, in New York, you got a credit card. In Colorado, you got money. In California, you got a credit card. Okay. Number 2 story of the day. Venezuela, getting hotter. President Trump did a briefing himself after a while, because there was a lot of talk about whether this was clandestine or not. I am going to say it was intended to be clandestine because of the CIA involvement in it. But they decided, what the heck, let them know. And they took out a ship right on the shore that had all kinds of drugs on it, headed for probably the U.S. Don't get all upset when we take out one that's headed for someplace else other than the U.S., because it means it probably will end up in the U.S. anyway, with a major market. And number 2, it just helps to fund and make rich those who operate in the United States. It's one big seamless group. You don't have to be terribly worried about, here are 3 boats. These 2 are headed for America. The other one we're not sure of. Maybe we shouldn't take out the 3rd one. Bullshit. Take them all out. It'll all help America. Maduro is fighting back.
Right.
Maduro is fighting back. Maduro, somehow there was some talk that he had some soldiers trying to protect the boats.
Yeah, apparently. And now we have multiple Americans. This is new today, Mayor, being detained.
Oh, he's detaining Americans.
Yes, that's the latest, and I'm going to try to track that down for you here.
Time for an extrication.
Yeah, I don't know if Maduro is quite aware of how good we are and our special forces are at. I bet these guys are looking forward to these sorts of missions.
I didn't know if they didn't induce it. I don't know if they didn't induce it. They've been practicing. They've been practicing extrications from there since before Trump, and you watch.
Yeah,
Watch how this is handled.
right.
This guy's asking for it though. This is like, but it may be nobody wants him, Ted.
I'm starting to want
A lot of these older.
At least Syria. With Syria, at least Assad had his plan.
Well, a lot of
he
these
was planned out. He knew he was going straight to Russia.
Yeah, a lot of these older dictators, like they had some kind of backup plan. This guy is such a numbnuts. He doesn't have anything, no backup plan. And the oil tanker, by the way, that we're holding has a Russian flag on it. Doesn't seem to be stopping us. That may be the reason we're holding it, right? It has a Russian flag sloppily painted on the hull. It's claiming protection from Moscow. But so far, there's been no protection. And the newspapers all say that the CIA being involved is a major escalation. No, it's not. The CIA has been involved from the beginning. Oh boy, the major escalation is he took a couple hostages. That gives us an excuse to really blow him to smithereens. The Ukraine, we left at Mar-a-Lago. Ted left at Mar-a-Lago, and the issue has now come down to, we think, but we're not sure the Russian part of this quid pro quo. The Ukrainians are willing to consider a demilitarized zone in Donbass, in the fortifications of Donbass, which Russia wants taken out completely. In return for that, they want a U.S. guarantee, and the claim is that Trump has promised 15 years of U.S. Backup for Ukraine. Now, we'll have to see if that's correct. Right. There is,
yeah.
And if Putin will accept it. Now, Ted and I did a lot of analysis of this back and forth. What's in it for Putin? What's in it? And it is the most intriguing and the most possible of the trade-offs that have been suggested so far. But I don't think Putin, and most of us don't think Putin really wants a thing. So the minute I heard that his house was attacked, unlike the president who expressed sympathy for him, I have no doubt he attacked his own house. I have no doubt.
You think he? Okay.
I will go to my grave believing he attacked his own house. Putin wouldn't be Putin if he didn't do it. What a way to change the subject. And the president gets all wishy. I'm not right to do it that way. Like the Ukrainians didn't. If the Ukrainians penetrated so well as to blow up his house, I think they'd have blown him up.
Yeah.
That's a hell of a risk just to take out a porch, But it's not a bad thing to do when you want to change the agenda and say, well, now I have to hit Ukraine even more. Let me see if I can kill a few more children. I didn't kill that many at Christmas time. Now I want to kill some more at New Year's because I'm a miserable, murdering son of a bitch. And I have been since I was with the KGB. And Trump seems to like me, but I don't make any concessions to that. Ukraine is making an offer to the president to stop the horrible things that are going on in Ukraine. And I think over today and tomorrow, Ted, I'm going to write this down. we should make a call to Mayor Klitschko and
Right.
see how he's doing in his hometown, huh?
Right. We got to get him. That would have been a good one today.
Yeah, but
I didn't
every
think-
time we try him, he's hard to get.
Well, in the timing, but we have got him a few times, and we want to get him back on because he definitely wants.
He's been through.
He's been through a
Boy,
lot.
what a tough man. What a tough man. Well, they're all tough. He's not crooked. Zelensky is, but they're both tough. You have got to admire courage. If you don't admire courage, you're never going to be a hero. And I think the Post has quite accurately, in its year-end editorial, made it clear that Russia is the roadblock. Mr. President, read the Post editorial. Look what I'm going to do. Well, Post. I may see the president tonight.
You're gonna bring it to him.
I'm going to say,
Hand delivered.
Ruskies, listen to Melania. Ruskies no good in this one. Not all Ruskies, but KGB Ruskies no good. Let's say we don't want to be too general. I have a lot of Russian friends too. Let's go this way. Ruski, KGB, no good. I think his father-in-law will agree with that one too.
Right.
So we're going to take a short break, and when we do, we are going to come right back.
We'll be right back with more on the top 10 stories
Of today,
followed
by yesterday.
We'll be right back.
Give me some.
Here we are, pretty much at the beginning of the process here at this pristine, I call it a laboratory. It's not like a factory, it's like a hospital. This is the beginning of the process for roasting. Deep grain, very good quality. Most people don't use this quality. We deal with small farmers because we like to know who we're dealing with. They give us the highest quality, all organic, non-GMO. You should know all Arabica beans, no Robusto, all Arabica. They're going to go into the roaster, and it'll get roasted for about 20 minutes or so. Oh my goodness, look at these. My goodness. You're going to want to specially order these. This is what goes into Rudy's Coffee.
U.S. Army Major Scott Smiley paid a high price serving our nation. Scott was leading his platoon in Iraq when a blast sent shrapnel through his eyes, leaving him blind and temporarily paralyzed. Scott would become the first blind active duty military officer before medically retiring years later. Thanks to friends like you, the Tunnel to Towers Foundation gave Scott and his family a mortgage-free, specially adapted smart home. Show your support for America's heroes now. Donate $11 a month to Tunnel to Towers.
Are you ready for some action?
I'm ready for action.
Get the Elite TV plan only through the portal. 218 channels, and it's only $69.95 a month,
Wow.
including your free portal.
That's cheaper than everyone else.
Your favorite sports, movies, news,
Wow.
even daytime dramas. We're talking about ESPN, OAN, Newsmax, channels you can't get anymore in certain areas.
Compared to the competition, this is a way better deal.
Endless selection. Not to mention all the free music channels. There's over 700 premium and classic movies all ready to go.
Wow.
Plus, they got catch-up TV that allows you to go back and watch what you've missed or want to watch again. Cut your cable in half and get twice as much for free.
Way more channels for half the cost.
After the first year, the subscription then drops to $57.95 monthly,
Wow.
where you change or upgrade anytime. Go to QUXNow.com and get yours today. Use promo code RUDY. Act fast. These deals are selling out.
U.S. Army Major Scott Smiley paid a high price serving our nation. Scott was leading his platoon in Iraq when a blast sent shrapnel through his eyes, leaving him blind and temporarily paralyzed. Scott would become the first blind active duty military officer before medically retiring years later. Thanks to friends like you, the Tunnel to Towers Foundation gave Scott and his family a mortgage-free, specially adapted smart home. Show your support for America's heroes now. Donate $11 a month to Tunnel to Towers at T2T.org. Welcome back to our New Year's Eve show. Right now, we are in the middle of today. Shortly, in the second hour, we will go to yesterday. And then tomorrow, and we'll give you a little hint today. Tomorrow, we're going to do not just a little bit about the day, we're going to do tomorrow, like what the year's going to be like. Okay? We'll see how good we are, and we're going to keep it, and we'll do checkoffs during the year. So Israel and Bibi, great meeting. Whole question. I mean, it's really down to, will Hamas disarm? Hamas says no. Then, as Bibi says, it's also very simple. Hamas must go. I have a feeling Bibi likes number 2. Hamas must go. I don't know. I cannot speak for Bibi. I'm going to try to see him tonight, so I can. But speaking for Rudolph W. Giuliani, supporter of Israel for 50 years, the answer is, I would like to never hear the word Hamas again, and I would like to never see any children taught at the age of 2 to kill Jews. Okay? Oh, and by the way, it might not be a bad idea if they weren't taught to kill Americans either. I get annoyed about that. So don't pull this bullshit Candace Owen, Fuentes, even the big shot Ivy League guy loves to pull that one. Oh, they love Israel more than America. Now, how about we love both because they stand for both? How about we love both because they're our best ally? You know who told me that? Make-believe conservatives. You know who told me that? Make-believe bullshit conservatives? President Ronald Reagan. I support Israel because Israel is our strongest ally. There's none we can support, none that we can rely on more when things are tough than Israel. Therefore, there should be none they should rely on more than us. Forget domestic politics. The rest of them can't. Domestic politics, cliques, being famous, sounding smart, all this crap. So, look, the cards there are in our hands, and the president is playing them right. And there's no concern, little concern that maybe there'll be kind of a little shading toward Putin, and that Putin's getting away with too much. These two guys are exactly on the same wavelength, and when they're not, it's calculated. Believe me, it's good guy, good cop, bad cop. Iran is getting very interesting. There could be a bigger story for tomorrow. By tomorrow, I don't just mean tomorrow. I mean tomorrow into 2026. A lot of protests. I've been noting them the last 3 nights. Here, and here. Haven't noted them like big, giant story yet. I'm ready to do it. If I had the time tonight, I do it tonight to be 2 days ahead. Press isn't going to get to this for a couple of days. Here's the thing I noticed about the protest in the last 2 days and the information that I pick up from Iran. This is an economic protest. It is not just a political protest. They don't have food. They don't have electricity. And you have to understand these are smart enough people to know that half of what they get goes to whatever remains of Hezbollah. The Houthis are in a death-defying battle now. Thank God with Saudi Arabia and the EAU. Who was fighting the Houthis 2 months ago? The U.S. and Israel. Who's fighting the Houthis now? Our allies, Saudi Arabia and EAU, our allies. You know, the guy that Biden wanted to execute. Whew. Well, the Iran protests we're going to cover in great depth because they'll tell you a lot about how far along they are. The protests are among the well-educated. They're led by traders and shopkeepers. And they fled up in Tehran. And here's where my antenna went off. This has been going on a couple of days in Tehran. Other cities on Monday. Remember back in 18, 19, 20, they had protests in 240 Iranian cities. And it was the country has faced a crippling currency crisis. They don't have a currency. America is blowing them out of the water, and nobody's coming to their aid. They're at the point of explosion. That their real is worth nothing real. Nothing real. The head of the central bank stepped down. Step down? Step down? Iranians fanned across social media are voicing support for the protest, with one, Skarush Daka, arguing the high prices and rampant corruption has led people to the point of explosion. Now, that corruption part is important because you think of Iran as a religious theocracy. You see Iran as if you're an intelligent, well-educated person on religion and history, you see it as the culmination of Muhammad's dream, the caliphate. This is what Muhammad wanted for them. But Muhammad didn't have but they really have replicated Muhammad. Muhammad, after recaptured and killed and tortured and converted, Abu Bakr came up with a great idea. He said, Muhammad, some of these people, we don't have to kill them. We can get mura out of them. And then they divided it, right? They come into a village like, the Quraysh were their own people, but one of the Jewish or Christians villages, they come in, they line them all up, and usually before anything, they kill a bunch of people. Then they'd say, you got a choice. You want to go that way in the mass grave? Good. Because if you're not a Muslim, that's where you go. You want to be a Muslim? Come on over. We'll figure out if you're for real. If you don't want to be a Muslim and you don't want to go to the mass grave, how much you got? You got a fruit orchard, you got a store, you got a daughter, they would take extortion. And these people then became dhimmis. They were subjected to the status of slavery and people who supported the corrupt machine of the Muslim religion, which is now the corrupt machine of the Islamic State of Iran. But the Iranian protests are protesting that corruption. They're seeing it. They're seeing the corruption that lies at the base of the religion given to them by Muhammad. And for the third straight day, the protest spiraled up higher into the point of almost a crisis. And university students in Tehran joined the protest, and it spread out to 8 other cities. That's the thing to watch. If that spreads and it becomes nationwide, there's only one place they have a really good hold of, and it's Tehran. If the other ones go, the pressures are going to become enormous. And then all we need is a little push. These Iran protests, Benham Ben Talibou in the Post if you want to read up on this beyond the short amount of time I have to deal with it, because we'll deal with this in greater detail tomorrow when we have a little more time. Pay real attention to this. This is as he describes it in his headline, a real cry for change.
Right.
This is the request for freedom that America. We don't want to be intervening in all the world. We don't want to be intervening, but we want to be able to pick our shots. You have to know when to hold them. You have to know when to fold them if you're a genius, right? This is the time to hold them. They're ready. Sounds good. We've been talking about this for 2 years. I've been outlining all the signs. We're not opaque about it. These Iran protests, you got 1 year, the whole damn city is
Right.
tied up. And it says, Don needs a game plan. Please call me. I'll give you a game plan.
Right.
It's been in my head for 12 years. Stock market finished at pretty close to an all-time high. What do you think about that? The S&P 500, a 17% gain, vaulted the index to one of its best 3-year long records, much less just 1 year. So economy is doing so poorly. When you look at Iran, you look at the rest of the world, you look at England, you look at the things that we're dealing with, and even when you look at inflation, which is
Right.
3%, economy's doing great. Very shortly, that beautiful city I saw there, my city, the city I love, the city that still can bring tears to my eyes when I think of what it was like, what we did for it, what certain people sacrificed for it who are now gone, and what they're doing to it. It can bring tears to my eyes. It was not. Of course, it was about politics, but it wasn't. It really was about love. I could have done a lot of other things with my life that I would have loved to do. You can't imagine how I would have loved just being a lawyer. I loved arguing in court. That's really good trial lawyer. We used to give really great summations. I used to work on them. They were works of art. They just love it. Cross-examinations, investigations, helping people out of problems. I loved it. They knew how much I loved it. That's why they took it away from me. Because I'm so much better at it than they are. I'm also one other thing that they are, the Democrats. I'm honest about it. You come to me, you'll be treated honestly. No, not a single. No, not worth it. Not worth it to mess around. So Mamdani is taking over tomorrow. I go back in my mind to my to the night of my first inauguration. The nighttime. There's a nighttime inauguration because you technically become mayor at noon, at midnight tonight, right after Adams finishes with the dropping of the ball. He's gone, and Mamdani is the mayor. And I took that very, very seriously. And we had a party. We had a ball the night before the inauguration because we had a day in between, the Sunday, and we had it at the museum, Teddy Roosevelt's Museum of Natural History, in the whaling room, where the big giant whale is, and you can fit almost 900 people. And we had a great dinner that night. And I was baptized as mayor. I left that dinner to go see firefighters who were injured, which began a long process. Now, Mamdani, tomorrow, we'll find out. We'll find out. I have not a single thing. I have never, I don't think, approached an inauguration without saying something positive, including Obama's and de Blasio's, with the hope that things could be different. I have no hope. This man is a disgrace, a catastrophe. This should never happen again. And that's what this mayoralty has to stand for. It has to stand for it will never happen again, that we will elect a communist and a enthusiastic supporter of Islamic terrorists who kill Jews and Americans. And we're never going to hate. We're never going to elect a Jew hater and an American hater again. So that's our number 8 story. Our number 9 story is Epstein. Epstein today was revealed the entire story that I have told you over and over again. That Donald Trump was notified that Epstein was messing around with the girls in the massage area, that he didn't blink an eyelash, and that he threw him out summarily from both the golf course and Mar-a-Lago, which are kind of operated together. When we say we're going to see Trump, we have to clarify which one. Sometimes it's the golf course, sometimes it's Mar-a-Lago. Tonight it'll be Mar-a-Lago. The other night they had a wonderful mid-Christmas, New Year's dinner at the golf course. And of course, my son has been playing there all week. He's probably not going to come tonight. He'll be playing at midnight with the lights on. So the revelation in the revelation in the Wall Street Journal is like it's a new story. I don't get this, Ted. This Epstein thing, they want to make this into a story, right?
Yep.
So it's been revealed that Trump threw him out.
Right.
I thought I remember revealing that 5 years ago. And a little report about it. I think the facts are teeny different. He did have a personal meeting. They don't recite that. A personal meeting with the aggrieved person and sympathize with her, for which to this day she is enormously, or until the day she died, she was enormously grateful. And he never came back. And they did have 2 other conversations, but it was about a dispute they were having over land, which Trump bested him on. But they never had another social contact after that. That was 2002. Now, I want you just to add up real quick. If Trump had done something seriously wrong with him, would he have preemptively thrown him out and left him there as a possible rat with tapes? No. Would he have taken him back when things got bad? And how is it that Giuffre, who has identified numerous people, including extremely sensitive situations beyond the pale with Clinton, says Trump never did anything but act like a total gentleman with her, even when he was put along with her for the purpose, apparently, of probably tempting him. He got one of those Jesus things, where Satan took him up to the mountain. Then Clinton would have passed that one. No. He couldn't pass it in the kitchen, much less on the mountain. So the way they do the story is amazing. This is amazing when you want to be a lying. Now, how much time is there, Ted?
30.
For the whole show.
Yeah. For our 2-4 hour. I mean, look, you got a lot to say, man.
All right.
We got a lot to say.
Well,
look, if we go over,
okay.
We go over, right?
We're not going to go over. We're going to get this done. I'm going to be disciplined for once. Dr. Maria.
It's not about being disciplined. You have a lot to share about all these topics. I mean, it's hard to boil the news down, even to 10, right? We think 10, okay, that gives us some leeway. But we had a list of 20 this morning, at least, right?
So the ejection of Epstein has been completely corroborated. What else has to be corroborated? What else? Right. And the final story I think we've covered already, which is people are canceling New Year's.
Right.
Now, the stories that we picked as the top stories of the year, we're going to list.
Right.
And then we're going to do as much talking about it as we can in the period of time that we have. But we're going to give you our list, and we're going to do it. We're going to do it. Give me my old list over there.
Oh. Bless you.
And we're going to ask Dr. Maria to join us for a short while we get ourselves organized. We might take a break. We really want to join us because we want you to, we want to show you how pretty she looks.
Right.
She always makes a big hit at this. So we had a whole bunch of stories here. See, this list here. We started yesterday, and we had. I'm going to go in no uncertain order. Epstein, Medal of Freedom, Fulton County, National Guard, D.C.
Are these ones that we didn't?
I'm just giving them all.
Okay.
I'm not going to be there. Securing border, Texas flood, Trump Putin summit, Venezuela hitting Iran, getting rid of Assad, the Hamas deal, Palisades fires. Remember, we covered those a lot. The Minnesota fraud, which is, it's sort of funny. Palisades fire took up the beginning of the year. The Minnesota fraud is ending the year. Pope Leo, middle of the year. Big story, middle of the year. It took up about 4 weeks, right, Ted?
Right.
Charlie Kirk, from the day of the shooting until now, all of the ridiculousness with Tucker Carlson and the reemergence of the Bund,
Right.
And trying to make us Republicans into Hitler types. I mean, I am so resentful of that. I could start a little street gang instead of a MAGA gang, like the Jets and the whatever they are. We get together those MAGA guys who like to fight.
Right.
I know a couple. I know a couple that are really probably better than I am and younger.
Right.
They like to fight. And of course the inauguration. So we're going to take a short break. Think a little where you would go with that.
Right.
There's about 5 of those you're not going to see on the list, and you may be angry at us. Then we can carry this over into tomorrow, because then tomorrow we're going to take these 5. We're going to remind you about them, some tonight, some tomorrow, and then we're going to show you how some of them are finished, right?
Right.
And but some of them have implications for the future, and in some ways, even the ones that are finished kind of have implications for the future. So we'll be right back.
Here we are, pretty much at the beginning of the process here at this pristine, I call it a laboratory. It's not like a factory, it's like a hospital. This is the beginning of the process for roasting. Deep grain, very good quality. Most people don't use this quality. We deal with small farmers because we like to know who we're dealing with. They give us the highest quality, all organic, non-GMO. You should know all Arabica beans, no Robusto, all Arabica. They're going to go into the roaster, and it'll get roasted for about 20 minutes or so. Oh my goodness, look at these. My goodness. You're going to want to specially order these. This is what goes into Rudy's Coffee.
U.S. Army Major Scott Smiley paid a high price serving our nation. Scott was leading his platoon in Iraq when a blast sent shrapnel through his eyes, leaving him blind and temporarily paralyzed. Scott would become the first blind active duty military officer before medically retiring years later. Thanks to friends like you, the Tunnel to Towers Foundation gave Scott and his family a mortgage-free, specially adapted smart home. Show your support for America's heroes now. Donate $11 a month to Tunnels to Towers at T2T.org.
Are you ready for some action?
I'm ready for action.
Get the Elite TV plan only through the portal. 218 channels, and it's only $69.95 a month,
Wow.
including your free portal.
That's cheaper than everyone else.
Your favorite sports, movies, news,
Wow.
even daytime dramas. We're talking about ESPN, OAN, Newsmax,
Wow.
channels you can't get anymore in certain areas.
Compared to the competition, this is a way better deal.
Endless selection. Not to mention all the free music channels. There's over 700 premium and classic movies all ready to go.
Wow.
Plus, they got catch-up TV that allows you to go back and watch what you've missed or want to watch again. Cut your cable in half and get twice as much for free.
Way more channels for half the cost.
After the first year, the subscription then drops to $57.95 monthly,
Wow.
where you change or upgrade anytime. Go to QUXNow.com and get yours today. Use promo code RUDY. Act fast. These deals are selling out.
Good evening. Welcome to Rick's Restaurant.
Why, Rick?
Which table would you like, Mr. and Mrs. Fosdick? We have put aside for you several of the very, very best tables for this evening's New Year's Eve celebration, which will be exceptional. And you are one of our best customers. So we want you to pick. I'm acting in my role as a head waiter because in case the head waiter doesn't show up, I am slated to fill in because I am an old friend, and old friends say they're willing to do anything for their friends. So I found out that a lot of the waiters have various forms of flu and coughs and may not be able to make it. So I used to be a waiter in my father's restaurant. And my father's restaurant was not exactly Mar-a-Lago. It was Vincent's Bar and Grill, somewhat different thing. But Vincent and Harold, who ran it, it was in the old days. People who ate in Vincent's Bar and Grill, which eventually became Vincent's Pizzeria, would you believe it? They wore jackets. Nowadays, they'd walk in shorts. They wore jackets in Vincent's. So I had to dress up. Not in a tuxedo, but I had to dress up with a tie. And all my life, I've been subjected to ties. I've spent very, very few periods of my life not being subjected to ties. And one would think I hate ties and want to get rid of them all the time and never want to wear them. I love ties. Ted will tell you I have so many ties, I don't know what to do with them. I have expensive ties. I have super expensive ties. I have great gift ties. I have the best collection of cheap ties you ever saw. And I know if you want how to get very good cheap ties. I should have a show like that, Ted.
I agree.
There are certain things I know where you can go cheap and you can do just as well. Like cigars, not quite, but you can get there. I can't pretend to you that I can take it down, way down in price, and get you a cigar that's as good as a Cuban or one of the great non-Cuban, the Davidoff or the other ones that are equal to the Cubans. They're going to be in the $50 range. But I can go get you an $11 cigar that you're going to love. And unless you're a real, you won't matter. Now, I can do that with ties. I can get you down to a tie for $15, maybe more like $22. That's just as good as a $130 tie.
Really?
I even think it ties better. And I know ties going back to 1948. Don't listen to these people. You got to listen to me. I should do like an expert show on but you know what I have to do? My expert show has to be limited to certain topics because the things I know about, I know everything about. And the things I don't know about, I don't know anything about. That's the way I preserve my mind.
That sounds like it's like a barrel line.
I don't know what it is, but now I'm going to go through the top stories of
2025.
Okay, the top stories of 2025. I'm going to go backwards. I am going to go backwards with the top stories of 2025. Okay?
Okay.
You like that? Okay,
Yeah.
here goes. Top stories of 2025. I consider number 10, Epstein, the top story of 2025. I consider it Epstein because many people would consider it 1, 2, or 3, but it's salacious. It's time irrelevant. It does require justice, no question about it, but to a considerably lesser extent. Than election interference and the Democrat incredible criminal conspiracy at the highest levels of government to destroy Donald Trump and the United States government and turn it into a communist Islamic terrorist enterprise. But Epstein still was top story number 10 of the year. Might not have been, but for a few screw-ups, we'll deal with that, in our analysis of it tomorrow.
Right.
Number 9, Fulton County. I consider Fulton County a more important story than number 9, but it didn't get coverage as a more important story than number 9. So you can just about sneak it in as number 9. Now, Fulton County is everything Epstein is not. Fulton County has to do with our future. Fulton County has to do with whether it could ever happen again. Fulton County has to do with the single greatest attack on the lifeblood of our democracy that has ever been made, and that is to destroy our free elections. And the reason I picked Fulton County is not because it was the only one. It happened in Detroit. It happened in Pennsylvania. It happened in Wisconsin. It happened in Arizona. It happened in Pennsylvania. And it happened in a lot of places we'll never know about. And what am I talking about? I'm talking about cheating on the 2020 election, using the pandemic, either the fortuitous event for the Democrats of the pandemic, or the orchestrated events by the Red Chinese of the pandemic to fix the 2020 election, which is now, but you don't realize it because of the censored news, the already proven 2020 phony election. And when I'm not even going to mention a newspaper I have no respect for, okay? I'm going to try from now on never to mention them except a little citation to them. But I respect the Wall Street Journal. I fight with them, but I respect them. But they should stop. They really are violating their own rules of journalism when they say, Donald Trump today repeated the false story of the 2020 election. It's no longer a false story, boys. Oh, from your point of view, it's at least a debatable story. When Georgia puts out a list that 315 ballots are absolutely invalid in Fulton County, you got to be a little smarter than you are. You got to get to be as smart as I am, or have me come in and give you cognitive, training. If 315,000 ballots from Fulton County are invalid and are going to be taken out, You don't have to be you don't have to be a calculating machine, because we don't have mathematicians anymore, to figure out Trump won. All you got to be is having taken third grade math, and you can figure it out. Now, a lot of people don't take third grade math anymore. But the minute you take out 315,000 ballots from Fulton County, I was willing to take out only about 30,000 and prove it. Trump won Georgia, guys. He won Georgia. Stop saying he's making false claims about winning Georgia. He won Georgia. It's provable now. You just got to report it. Oh, gee, if you'd go back and take a look at the Wisconsin report by the good judge who got destroyed, he won Wisconsin. If you'd go look at Senator Leffler's report, Lipton's report, Lipton.
Oh,
please.
Liggett.
Let's get him on. The man is such a hero,
Yeah.
and he's so shy. I mean, Liggett did the best job he is the best battlefield lieutenant in election war history. He did the best job of documenting election fraud of anyone I've seen. He took our work, he took independent work, he took his own work, he put it together, and he made the sum much greater than the equal of the parts. I mean, unbelievable work. And when you finish it, if you don't believe, even before we get to the overproof that Georgia was fixed, Georgia was fixed. Now ask why, with a Republican governor and a Republican Secretary of State. And then take a look at some of the other things that are coming out about what these states do about PPP, hint, hint, hint,
A lot of
and
money.
about other things. And let's take a look at who are they.
Right.
Let's let them go out of office like,
Right.
man, guys, you guys tried to destroy me. Nobody's done that so far. Everybody that has, they don't get out of my sights. Kemp, Raffensperger. Okay, now,
Number 8.
Venezuela. I put Venezuela down as 8 because it would have emerged higher, but it only emerged at the end of the year. And it's got lots of, and one of the things that really pushed it to a top story of the year is hitting the shore, hitting the boats, even with all the Democrat, defending the drug. Trump takes out 20 drug boats destined with poison for the United States. And the Democrats are saying, what, bring the drug boats back so the kids could die? Oh, leave those drug boats alone. I mean, you have no right to stop those drug boats. All they're doing is trying to come here and kill our American kids. And those are guys probably who wouldn't vote for us anyway because they're too stupid. I mean, I don't know.
Right.
So Venezuela, and it's gone into orbit 2 and 3 now. We hit the shore. Big step. It was supposed to be clandestine. I guess it got enough attention that Trump said, lift the clandestine shit. I'm going to describe it. The minute the president describes it, it's no longer clandestine, boys and girls. Now he's taking American hostages, Maduro. And I hope this is the end of Maduro real quick. Don't let him suffer. Not that he's a good guy, just don't let him suffer.
Right.
It's just nicer for me to say that because when I go to heaven and I got to defend myself, I can say, I said, don't let him suffer. Number 7, maybe it should be further up. I have it at 7. We can fight about this tomorrow. Minnesota fraud. Wow. And do you know why Minnesota fraud should be number 1, maybe? maybe not over the inauguration. Number 2 over Pope Leo, even. I'll tell you why. Because it's not going to just be Minnesota on its own is number 7. It's going to show the complete corruption of the state of Minnesota and the end of the Farmer Workers Party, which was always a kind of euphemism for communist, rat, anti-American shitheads,
Right.
including stupid, silly, ubiquitous Mondale and Ubit, Moonface, Fat Face, big bullshit Humphrey. Supposed to be one of the worst person for women in Washington. He had to be. You know why? He scared them. Honey, I'd like to go with you. Wow. Some point, someone said that Humphrey was the only guy Nixon could beat.
Right.
Not true, by the way. Unfair to Nixon. Nixon was a great politician, very maligned. I think if I brought back, well, someday when I get my role that I really want, which I'm working for by improving my religious experience, going to church, everything else, I want a little better role in heaven. I want to get to interview a lot of these people. I really think that Kennedy understood Nixon better than anyone. And I think it's going to be a much more generous understanding
Right.
than you realize. I mean, I'm talking about John Kennedy.
Right.
Okay.
All right.
Now,
Keep going.
and there's a reason for that down the road, make a nice podcast, and maybe we get Teddy into that one.
Right.
If he agrees with me. I think he does from some of the things I've seen him write. So Minnesota fraud could be number 2, number 3 of the year. We have it at number 7. I don't know, because a lot of other stuff happened before that. Number 6. What do we have as number 6, Ted?
Well, I have a few different lists. I want to make sure I don't.
Good. Let me see what you got.
I mean, I got Charlie. I have Charlie.
Charlie Kirk should be up further too. I'll tell you why it should be up further too. And now I might move it. Believe it or not, I might move. Don't throw me out of the church, boys. I might move 6 to 2 and 2 to 6, and you'll see why in a minute. Here's why Charlie Kirk was so big. It's got a positive and a negative, but negatives are important to extricating things. Charlie Kirk, unlike anything I've seen in our modern generation, this would happen like with Our Lady of Fatima and things like this. But he brought people back to church. I went to church the week after Charlie's assassination. Church was full, right, Maria? Mm-hmm. Church was full. Come and sit with us. The church was full, and people were really very, very, very much there because of Charlie. Charlie did many, many things. I can't recite them all now. We're going to do more later near the end. But Charlie's religious revival is still ongoing. I still see it. I saw it in church the other day. I saw it talking to religious people yesterday. Candace Bergen and Candace Bergen. Yeah, Charlie Bergen.
An actress, Candace Bergen.
Poor Candace Bergen. I mean, she's not great either, but still.
5 minutes.
Candace Owen and Tucker and Fuentes, you Nazi, keep your damn hands off Mrs. Kirk, all right? She's a good girl. She's a nice girl. She's a good woman. She's a smart woman. She's a hell of a lot better than you are. Leave her alone. Show respect for women. She's trying her best. God, you can't give us some You can't give her some room? She just lost her husband, the father of her children. What, do you want to assume she's a monster? I don't see anything in that, assuming that. Okay, so Charlie Kirk, major story, two ways. Religious revival, what's going to happen to the Republican Party?
I'm not going to sit here when I can be doing
Now-
stuff. See?
Now, striking Iran, destroying their nuclear capacity based on a brilliant campaign by the best ally the United States may ever have had, Bibi Netanyahu and his army, who made it possible for us to wipe them out without a single shot being fired at us. Thank you, Bibi. Stop. Stop it, you Jew haters. Stop it. What if the Jews contributed? Is that what you're asking us? You're asking us that? Tucker Carlson said, what if the Jews contributed? What have you contributed, you little shit? What they've contributed is wiping out every single obstacle to us going into Iran and taking out the most dangerous thing in the world to us right now, their nuclear capacity. Thank you, Israel. Thank you, Bibi. God bless you. And thank you for being such a good American, better than some of ours. Toppling Assad? Wow. Without Bibi? No way. Getting rid of or limiting all of the surrogates, all the protections for Iran. Iran had all these protections. The Houthis, the Pooties, the Hamas, Hezbollah. Hezbollah, they don't even know where they are anymore. Assad, he's off in Russia. And there it is. All of the nuclear, all of the air defense is down. America comes in, wipe out. And now, what are they talking about just a day or two ago? We'll go right back in. You think they won't? So when you talk about Israel, if you don't talk about Israel with respect, you are an unpatriotic, traitorous American, because you have no understanding of who our friends are. If you have no understanding of who our friends are, you have no understanding of who we are. You've created a construct in your own sick mind of what we are. Now, Israel and Hamas. The settlement with Israel and Hamas, although imperfect that it is, has stopped the war. There are skirmishes. Hamas has not disarmed. Israel hasn't taken that lying down. Israel is doing within the framework everything that could be done that could accomplish the framework if they don't agree eventually. I mean, in other words, by the time Israel is finished, if Hamas wants to screw around, there'll be no Hamas. Bibi said the same thing yesterday. Ukraine and Russia. Oh, tough one, tough one, tough one. We're down to the short strokes here, right, aren't we? We're down to the short strokes because the president and Zelensky have put a proposition on the table that really will test Putin. And that is, and I was surprised, give up part of Donbass. I think kind of more like a demilitarized zone, but let us have American 15-year protection in Ukraine. I've explained in other places why that's a very smart decision. I've explained and will explain it more if necessary. I do not believe Putin's fallen for this because this is too smart. So what does Putin do? Putin gets his house attacked. I would like you, if you believe, all right, that Ukraine or some other sinister force attacked Putin's house, other than Putin executed himself, I would like you to promise me that for the first 6 months of 2026, you will get psychiatric treatment or cognitive treatment to improve your brain because you're a freaking idiot. Okay? Number 2 story of the year, the ascension to the papacy of a Catholic boy from Chicago, grew up on the streets of Chicago, fan of the Chicago Cubs, became an Augustinian priest, went off on missionaries in Latin America, rose as a Latin American bishop, which is strange, and then was selected by Francis as the next pope. Considered a surprise choice, but to the inside is not such a surprise choice. Many thought when Francis elevated him as bishop, he was on his way to doing it, and then put him in charge of the selection of bishops. He was on his way to naming him, and it is thought that maybe he is Francis's guy. Difference, he's taken over. He's not quite Francis's guy. So there was this big debate that Francis had become too, how would you describe it, Ted? Too non-traditional and anti-Latin Mass. Don't know if he was, but that was the thought. Anti-Latin Mass, too friendly with the communists, too friendly with China, letting China take over too much in the appointment of bishops. They put this guy in, and I don't agree with everything he's done. He's his own man. He's his own man. I don't know what he's going to do about China. I have a feeling, because he's an American, he's from Chicago. I don't think he's going to let China appoint bishops. If you made me the Pope, I wouldn't let you have China appoint bishops. Only I appoint bishops, not you. Get out of here, you communist swine. He's got to be nicer than that, and he is. And that's why he's Pope. See, I'm not. But I have a feeling it's there. It's there. I think it's there. I think it's there in the genes. I see it. I see the little differences. I see a couple of the other things that worry people, but I don't know. Right now, I'm more supportive than not. I think it was a good choice. Right now, I'm open, worried about my church, but I'm pretty darn comfortable with what we got there now. Number one, of course, is the maybe a historic date. The election and inauguration of Donald James Trump. Or was it John Trump? How about Donald J. Trump? Once again, against every odd, everything, the measure of how much the American people wanted him cannot be measured in the quantity or the numbers of his election. They can only be measured by the intensity of what was done against him. No president had to ever overcome what he did to be reelected as president. And I go back to his first election, all of the impeachments I went through with him, the 2020 election, the January 6th fraud, and his election. It's a historical event that we do not yet understand, Ted. Right. It's a historical event that will question our legitimate scholars 100 years from now. But it has always a complicated and sometimes a simple answer. The complicated answer is it needs a lot of analysis. The simple answer is the strength of a man and the strength of his belief in his country and what that combination can do, which I found for me personally on a smaller scale can do. If I can combine my honesty about what I'm doing and who I am with the love of my country. If I do that, you can't beat me. So I'm going to invite Dr. Maria to come back. Dr. Maria, we're going to take just a little break before we end and remind you that right now, toward the end of the year, you get your last chance to get your thing in, get your money in for T2T.org. There is nothing that I can think of that you can contribute to that shows your patriotism for this country than T2T.org. I do it as often as I can, and I fail sometimes. But every time a firefighter is injured, every time a police officer is injured, when the police officer in Butler County was shot, when soldiers overseas are shot, within minutes, Frank is there with the money. $11 a month, T2T.org. Don't let the year end without putting it in and renewing it now. Do it right now, right after I interview and we close the show for 2025. Close the books with Dr. Maria.
Well, I want to stop by and say Happy New Year. I know I'll see you later tonight. I don't know what I'm going to wear, so I still have to do all that. I hate putting on makeup and doing my hair, but I got it professionally, my face done. So I got a lot of
that is Dr. Maria's
work to do on this old
Is that
lady.
Dr. Maria's professional face? Everyone on your audience loves your regular face.
You know what? I think I'm
You get
relatable.
more-
I don't wear makeup hardly, except nights like tonight. But I wanted to wish you a happy new year. Ted, a happy new year. Your audience, I love your audience.
We love
I
your
think we
audience.
cross over. And I know I'll see you both later on tonight. I hope you both save a dance for me.
Absolutely.
My dance card is almost empty.
You know,
You
when
look
she-
very dapper,
when
by
she
the way.
when she
Mayor.
goes into Mar-a-Lago, you can't imagine what happens.
Well, I do thank the president for playing Elvis Presley for me, but he always plays Ave Maria.
Oh, the president
so
yesterday
I do
called you honey.
appreciate
So.
that. Darling.
Darling. Oh,
an-
I'm sorry.
He was doing an
I'm
Elvis.
sorry.
I
He
think.
called you
Hello,
darling.
darling.
He called you darling. Well,
Let's
Dr.
not
Maria,
tell all our secrets out here.
Dr. Maria, you got to promise me something. No matter what it's like, no matter how tired you are, you got to come on tomorrow with us for a little talk about what happened at Mar-a-Lago.
Okay. I
We need
was
your
going to
perspective.
fly home,
What?
but okay, I will.
Okay.
I'll try to make it.
All right. Well, to all of you, we're going to end the year with a prayer because we began the year with a prayer, and we're going to end the year with a prayer. And we're not going to take we're not. I had many prayers in mind. I went through them, but I'm going to I'm just going to make one up because that's the way you best pray to God, isn't it? The others help you, and we're going to pray to Him, but it can be real simple, right? Dear God, you're in charge of our destiny, and you guide it. You created it. You guide it. You look over it. And you help us when we're worthy of it. And we ask you to help us now as we go forward into 2026, a very critical year for straightening out our country and putting it on the road that it should be on, and that our founders wanted it to be on, and that it's deviated from very dark days. For that, we need your help, dear God. But we don't know how to shape that help. You know how to do that. You know how to shape us and to lead us and to guide us and to inspire us, to support us and to protect us. We may not understand sometimes all of your ways. Of course we don't. We're not God. But we do understand your love for us. And we understand your love for America. And we don't take that in any arrogant way. We take that in a way that suggests a tremendous amount of responsibility on our part. So we're going to end 2025 a very, very, very dramatic year, a year in which many of us thought our country could be ended if the wrong decision were made, a year in which we were given hope by you and by our American citizens that we have a lot of work to do, but we have the future in our hands. And please, God, guide us. Guide us so we don't make any wrong decisions. Guide us so we make the right decisions. Guide us so we take care of the weak and the humble and the people who have difficulty speaking up for themselves. And guide us so we set the right goal at the very, very top. We're fortunate people. So we'll finish with the prayer that I think is the one that we should say because you taught it to us. So we're going to say it at the end of New Year's. And this is how we're going to say Happy New Year's to you. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. And forgive us our trespasses, because we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us. From evil. Deliver us from evil, God. I ask that prayer one more time. Deliver us from evil. Amen. And thank you for all the years you've given us. And thank you for the prospect of 2026. God bless America. It's our purpose to bring to bear the principle of common sense and rational discussion to the issues of our day. America was created at a time of great turmoil, tremendous disagreements, anger, hatred. There was a book written in 1776 that guided much of the discipline of thinking that brought to us the discovery of our freedoms, of our God-given freedoms. It was Thomas Paine's Common Sense, written in 1776, one of the first American bestsellers, in which Thomas Paine explained, by rational principles, the reason why these small colonies felt the necessity to separate from the Kingdom of Great Britain and the King of England. He explained their inherent desire for liberty, for freedom, freedom of religion, freedom of speech, the ability to select the people who govern them. And he explained it in ways that were understandable to all the people, not just the elite. Because the desire for freedom is universal. The desire for freedom adheres in the human mind, and it is part of the human soul. This is exactly the time we should consult our history. Look at what we've done in the past and see if we can't use it to help us now. We understand that our founders created the greatest country in the history of the world, the greatest democracy, the freest country, a country